In the past few centuries, a series of dramatic influences have completely changed the life of humankind. The series of influences have led to a momentum of progress and growth. At first, progress contributed to enlightenment and made the world more familiar, accessible, and predictable. However, the scientific achievements of the early 20th century led us to completely misunderstand reality. The new scientific revolution has ravaged our fundamental assumptions about the world. Our perception of reality can no longer be defined by rational statements. The behavior of the microcosm seems completely fictional, and elementary particles do not obey the familiar laws of physics. The macrocosm behaves in a chaotic way that could be characterized by an amorphous cloud or a grid tangled within itself. Chaos is a state wherein our minds are flooded with a mixture of multidimensional details, a reality that cannot be interpreted consistently. When it is impossible to create a consistent interpretation, notions of truth and lie about reality swirl in our minds undecidedly, without the ability to decide whether it is truth or lie. We need a new logic, an appropriate method to perceive realities seemingly lacking definite form and lacking definable lawfulness. Such a method of perception will create progress, growth, and breakthroughs from within chaos. However, to achieve that, we must relinquish the logic of a linear world with eternal directionality. Creation ex nihilo is not creation from a seed. In a discussion of this kind, the famous question, which came first, the chicken or the egg, is the wrong question. Creation of something from nothing is self-creation, and nothing can come before that. Self-creation can be described as a logical loop. A logical loop means that if we continue going in one direction, we would not maintain the same direction forever. At some point, the perceived reality will change, leading us in the opposite direction of what we initially intended. These situations are described in folklore by proverbs such as, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." The master-slave paradox in philosophy teaches that the more imperiously the master behaves towards the slave, the more dependent on the slave he becomes, to a point where the control system turns around. In order to create a new order, ex nihilo, in our chaotic lives, we have to follow the principles of self-creation. The description of the principles of self-creation contain unfamiliar geometric structures. Self-creation is a mechanism wherein nothingness interacts with itself. The first principle teaches us that for creation of something from nothing, nothingness has to contain itself. We recognize the concept of containment as a concept that describes a condition in which the exterior contains the interior. But what is self-containment? When the exterior contains the interior, and the interior contains the exterior. This is self-containment. The second principle is the principle that allows nothingness to be fed in order to develop into actuality. However, the only possible feeding within the nothingness is self-feeding. Directions within nothingness are being reversed and nourish each other. We must relinquish the need to choose who establishes who. The exterior establishes the interior, or vice versa. The third and final principle of the logic of self-creation is the principle of self-transformation. This principle allows nothingness to cast its own meaning and content within itself. Since all the directions within nothingness are intertwined, changed in the configuration of one of the directions is projected as change over the overall configuration of creation. The geometry of self-creation describes the logical definition of self-creating systems. According to physics, three essential characteristics describe the emergence of self-organizing systems. The need to sustain a common rule of organization is made possible by self-containment. The need to be fed, satisfied by self-feeding. The need to act as if any change had purpose, expressed through self-transformation. The geometry of creation is structured from behind the muse that enables development of successful ideas and inventions. The structured form that enables growth, progress, and improvement in complex, chaotic reality.